Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top football leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Division, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. And good evening and welcome to this edition of the Island Stats football show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. We're going to soon be joined by Andrew Griffith, who just watched the Bermuda-Canada match in the under-20 women's World Cup qualifiers, where Canada defeated Bermuda 9-0. And we are joined by Andrew here. Well, Andrew, Bermuda's going down by a score of 9-0 in their second World Cup qualifier in Trinidad. Obviously, not the result we were looking for, especially after the 3-0 defeat against Trinidad on Friday. But just take us through what you witnessed today from the Bermuda team.
Yeah, it was a good game. Despite the score, there were glimpses of what Bermuda has. Let's be real. Canada they have players in their team that are trying to make the senior women's national team, and as we know, the Canadian national team are definite contenders for the World Cup. So hoping that we would get a result is a bit unrealistic. So we could hope to gain experience and maybe try to get something out of the game, which I think is, for those that played, is a good experience. Like, we had players, like, they had to work out dealing with much bigger and faster players, and how were they going to cope? They had to switch around tactically. They had to play players out of position because they were faster, could manage those. It was a learning experience. So that's the positive I say we could take out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that some of the Canadian players, some of the teams that they're playing on, Liverpool, Sporting, Vancouver Whitecaps, these are professional setups that the Canadian under-20 team members are involved in. So, it was going to be an uphill battle right from the start anyway. But, it like you said, it's a learning experience for these under-20 women. And a bulk of them are under 17, so that's helping them to prepare for the next round of their World Cup qualifiers.
And as Coach Dankins said on the show last week, half of the team are under 17s, and let's be real, at the top levels, that gulf in age and size and in muscle mass or whatever, it's going to show, and it should. Like, you can't take 17-year-old man and play him against 20-year-old man and hope that you can do well. It's not feasible. But they did the best they could, and they had some glimpses of good talent.
Yeah. The good thing is they have a chance to rebound. They played Dominica in their final game. As we know, Canada defeated Dominica 22-0 in their opening game of the tournament. And, Dominica about to take on Trinidad later on this evening for their second matches. And then that's that showdown between Trinidad and Canada to see who wins the group. And, Bermuda and Dominica to see who finishes third in the group, kind of thing. So, it's all to play for, still some pride in there.
Yeah, and in getting to speak to a few players as we left the field, and they know that, and they say, hey, we got our licks, so we want to give some back in the last game. Let's get there. And like they said, and I'm hoping that the coaches don't decide to try stuff because it's nothing major to play for. Hey, I took my licks, I want to give some back. I hope he doesn't sit me for the last game. I'm ready for this last game. let us give us a chance after going through all this bruising. So we'll see what they do for the last game on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, after what they went through on Friday with the disappointment in the second half, giving up the three goals, to bounce back and play a team that they know that scored 22 times in their first game must have been something for the coaching staff to try and get into these girls' heads that you're playing against better opposition. We just need to stick to our game plan and try to negate as much as possible.
Yeah, like they are Canada. Like make no doubt about it. Like they are is pretty to watch. The way they move the ball, they control. Like players were like flicking the ball over our players' heads in the box and controlling it on the chest, turning, passing in the 6 yard box. Like they do play well. Like make no mistake about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, definitely something to watch out for on Tuesday, when Bermuda and Dominica play at 4 o'clock again. They have the first game, so I would say to you, enjoy the rest of your time there. We'll
Like,
speak again on Tuesday as we progress
one,
through.
one thing I did find a little remarkable for the first game because they announced the attendance. The first game was 353 people. I was like, really? Said that's the like Trinity is playing. So we we get a little annoyed or upset when we have 500-600 people watching our teams in Bermuda. I'm like, well, this place has over 1 million people. Mind you, it's other things going on there, it's carnival, whatnot, but I still thought I would have seen more people out to support Trinidad. And today's game, they announced the attendance for Bermuda and Canada. It was 160 people. So I'm definitely surprised at that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the sad part about it is, Griff, when we start looking at what men, how they publicize and kind of promote men's games compared to the women's games, is a lot different. It's a lot different. Um, Around, I guess, around the region itself. I mean, we look at just even in Bermuda, the girls get a quarter of a page if they get any coverage at all, where the men will get a whole back page kind of thing. So it's funny how just things materialize, but for sports, it's got to get better around the region.
And if I must note, the of that 160 attendance today, I think about 30, 35 of them was people from Bermuda. So
Ah, well, I guess they'll be rooting again on Tuesday. You'll be rooting
yes, we
again on
will.
Tuesday. Um, to when you talk about things, we talked to Aaron about conditions. What how do you see the conditions, and how do they play into the two matches we've played so far?
So the first game was a night game, and it was under like a overcast sky, so it was mild. When we got to the stadium today, it was a 4 o'clock game, so we got there 3:30. It was stiflingly hot, but luckily all the fans in the covered section, so there was shade. So on the field, I guess for the first half, it would have been really hot. But as it got later, the temperature dropped a little. It was cool, and they kept them. They have water breaks in these games halfway
Yes,
through each half, so
yes,
they kept hydrating. But it's not as stiflingly hot as I would have thought. But in the beginning, it was a little hot at 4 o'clock.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, on the local front, we were due to have two matches today. One in the first division, one in the Premier Division. Both games, for some reasons, were called off. But last night, it was that top of the table clash with Crossroads and Boulevard Blazers, where Crossroads won 4-1. They all but have cemented themselves back into the Premier Division and just about put both hands on the First Division title.
And I think all of our logic held true from last week. This would be a top of the table clash, and I think they wanted to solidify the position and show everybody that they're ready for 3 o'clock football on Sundays next season. So they did that, and it's not a surprise. I noticed it was it Paul Simons and Donovan Thompson was scoring. If they have the main guys going at the end of the season, that only spells trouble for the rest of the team. So I don't think they're going to take the foot off the gas if they have the main strikers going.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, I'll let you go. Hopefully, we'll be joined by Punchy very shortly to go more in depth with especially the match that was played at the National Sports Center on Friday involving Bermuda and the Portland Pride. So I'll let you go, and we're going to take a commercial break, and hopefully when we come back, we'll be joined by Garrett Punchy Dill. Take it easy, Griff.
All right, take it easy.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
It's time to lace up, Bermuda. The annual Lindos to Lindos race is back on Sunday, March 9th. Choose between the competitive 10K runner walk or the 4-mile non-competitive walk in aid of the Bermuda Diabetes Association. This isn't just a race, it's a tradition. These feet are made for walking. So walk with us in support of the Bermuda Diabetes Association. Visit racedayworld.com for more details and sign up. Lindos, why go anyplace else?
Beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long-tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian. Bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, we are hoping that Garrett Punchy Dill does join us momentarily. Bermuda Select took on the Portland Hearts of Pine on Friday at the National Sports Center. 2 second-half goals done the job for Portland. They will face off against Rhode Island tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. at the National Sports Center, and then on Thursday, Bermuda will play. The Bermuda Select will play Rhode Island. As we know, Connell Smith's Rhode Island came to Bermuda last year, played a few matches, done some training, prepared for their season, and went on to their division title. So we're hoping to see some of those players who are now trying to make that squad again. They'll be on display tomorrow at 7, and then again on Thursday at 7 at the National Sports Center. Unfortunately, Punchy is not going to be able to join us this evening, but we do want to run down the fact that midweek it was St. George's Colts getting a late winner to defeat Wolves at the Devonshire Recreation Club, and it kind of changed, but it didn't change the positions of the standings. It just improved St. George's up to 23 points from their 14 games. 1 point behind Devonshire Colts and PHC. And of course, Denny Tunnel on 26 and North Village Rams lead the league with 28. The match, as I said earlier, between Young Men Social Club and Paget that was due to be played today at Police Field was called off. We have a request out to the Bermuda Football Association to get a confirmation on reasons why this game was not played. The report from the first division match at Lords and St. David's that would have seen St. David's host the Somerset Trojans was called off due to a lack of security for match officials. That is a requirement by the Bermuda Football Association. And in that regard, St. David's were unable to provide security for the officials. And the referee then decided that the match will not be played. And we'll wait an official response from the Bermuda Football Association on that match. And again, last night it was Crossroads defeating the Boulevard Blazers 4-1. Boulevard will remain on their 24 points, but Crossroads moved to 31 points from 11 matches. Boulevard are 24 from 12. Somerset Eagles are on 15 from 12, but the Somerset Trojans are on 14, along with Robin Hood. Somerset have played 10, and Robin Hood have played 11. So pretty much the league title has been sewn up by Crossroads. It's a lot of work for anybody to catch Boulevard. So it really looks like right now the two teams heading to the Premier Division will be Crossroads and the Boulevard Blazers. And that battle at the bottom of the table, Wolves losing to St. George's, remained on 8 points. They're 1 point behind Hamilton Parish. And Hamilton Parish are 5 points behind Young Men Social Club, who have a game in hand, that game that was due to be played today against the Paget Lions. So the battle for the league title is still wide open. 4 points separate 1 through 4. 5 points separate 1 through 5. And then, of course, there's that 5 point gap at the bottom where Hamilton Parish need 2 victories and hope for 2 losses from Young Men Social Club to try and catch them up. And then, of course, barring a miracle in the first division, it's going to be Crossroads and the Boulevard Blazers entertaining themselves in the Premier Division for next season. So with that, we're going to end this evening's show. We'll be back next week, Sunday, when football should resume with a full slate of matches, and we'll have a full show for you and some comments, I guess, hopefully from Erin Denkins, the head coach for the women's under-20 team, following their performance at the World Cup qualifiers. Again, Bermuda going down 9-0 to Canada in Trinidad and Tobago in their second match of the World Cup qualifiers. They went down 3-0 to Trinidad on Friday, and they will play Dominica on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Bermuda time. So from here, we say enjoy the rest of your evening, folks.